Surah Yaseen, the merits of Surah Yaseen, first of all, we will discuss today in this session. Why merits? First of all, we need to ask this question. Why we need to know the merits of a surah, of anything rather. Because when we know the merits, when we know the virtue, when we know the status and the position of a surah, we know its importance, we know its value. And when we know the importance and value of anything, then we are inclined towards it. We know its importance. We give it its due value, and we make it part of our life. So that's why, first of all, we are going to address the merits of Surah Yasin. So why Surah Yasin? What is the importance of Surah Yasin? What is the status of Surah Yasin? What is the value of this Surah, Surah Yasin? Why we have picked Surah Yasin to be the topic of our discussion in this holy month of Ramadan. First of all, because Surah Yasin, this surah, is the heart of Quran. Everything, as you know, every living has a heart. And the position of heart, mute your mics, please. Because the heart, if the heart stops working, every other body part, every other part of that living does not matter anymore. It stops working when the heart stops working. Surah Yasin, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said in one narration, "Inna likulli shay'in qalb wa qalb al-Quran Yasin." Everything has a heart, and the heart of Quran is Yasin. So this is the importance of Surah Yasin, because this is the heart of Quran. So first we need to know the heart of Quran. First we need to know the importance of the heart of Quran, and then we should move towards the other parts of the Quran. And then this surah is starting with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Innaka laminal mursaleen. So in the beginning of this surah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been mentioned, and Quran is alive, because through Quran we have miracles. Through Quran we see that people get life, people get treatments, people get cure. So Quran is a live miracle, and this miracle is alive, and this alive miracle has a heart, and the heart of the Quran is Surah Yasin, because it is about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our dear Prophet. The second reason for that is the importance of this surah is that there are 5 main pillars of our religion, Islam, as you know. And all of these 5 pillars, Tawheed, oneness of God, prophethood, Nabuwah, and Ma'ad, the Day of Judgment, Imamat, and Adl, justice, has been mentioned in this surah. So all 5 pillars of Islam have been mentioned in this surah. So that's why this has importance, because it lays on the foundation of Islam, because the 5 main pillars are the foundations of Islam. So all these 5 pillars have been mentioned in detail, some in detail, like the Day of Judgment. There are many verses which tells you about the Day of Judgment in this surah. And when one believes on the Day of Judgment, he has more belief, and it shows in his actions. But there are some of the pillars, like Imamat and justice, which have been indicated. But the other 3 pillars have been mentioned in detail. The third reason for the importance of this surah is that reciting this surah, first of all, protects you from the attacks of Satan. You know, Satan is an external enemy that we have, that we face every day. And reciting this surah protects you. Sometimes you can protect yourself by thinking, by using your brain, by your iman, by your faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by using the knowledge that is given to you by Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. But apart from all this, when you recite this surah, there's a protection, layer of protection around you. And you are protected from the attacks of Satan. And this is another big importance of this surah. Secondly, it protects you from the troubles of this world. I mean, we try to counter the troubles and the issues and the problems of the world, but sometimes we don't see it coming. We go out of our house, we go towards our office, we go towards our business, we go towards our college and university. On the way, anything could happen. When we are at our office and business or school, college, university, anything could happen without us knowing. We take all of the precautions and still that's not good enough. So reciting the surah protects you also from the attacks and the problems and issues of the world. Number 3, it provides sustenance to you. Those of you who are worried for your sustenance, it provides sustenance for you throughout the day. So this surah, number 1, counters the attack of Satan. Number 2, it counters the problems and issues of the world. Number 3, it provides the sustenance. And this is not me saying, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam has said, whoever recites Surah Yaseen on a day before sunset, during the whole day, he will be provided with sustenance. Once, if you recite during the day, you will be provided with sustenance throughout the day. And whoever recites it at night before sleeping, 1,000 angels will be for him to protect him from any attacks of Satan and any impediment. So once one should recite during the day, and second, it should be recited during the night. If 2 times it is recited during the day and night, then all of these 3 benefits can be for you. This surah Yaseen, is a Makki surah, and mostly in a Makki surah, most of the time it is about the pillars of the faith. And it is said that the 5 main pillars of our faith are mentioned in the surah. This is one of the reasons that this is called a Makki surah. There are 83 verses in this surah. Inshallah, we're going to discuss and try to shed light on all of these 83 verses. This surah has different names. One name of this surah is Mu'amma. Mu'amma, someone asked Prophet, what is Mu'amma? Prophet said, the one who recites it, he will get virtues in this world and hereafter. So there will be a constant rain of virtues for him, good deeds for him in this world and hereafter if he recites Surah Yaseen. Number 2, second name of Surah Yaseen is Dafi'ah. So Surah Yaseen is known as Mu'amma, and Surah Yaseen is also known as Dafi'ah. Dafi'ah means that it prevents from bad omens and attacks of Satan. That's why this surah is also called Dafi'ah. The third name of this surah is Rihanatul Quran, the flower of Quran. You know, in a garden, there are plants. In a garden, there is grass. In a garden, there is a boundary. There are trees. But the heart of a garden is the flower. When one enters garden, his first look is towards the flowers, and flowers are the ones that attracts the viewer. Surah Yaseen is known as Rihanatul Quran because this is the flower of Quran. It gives you the scent which is like a flower, and it attracts you more than any other surah of the Quran, like a flower does in a garden. The fourth name of this surah is Yaseen, like you know, and according to few narrations, Yaseen is the name of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why this surah is majorly known as Surah Yasin. So now, inshallah, we'll try to come towards our topic, which is welcoming Ramadan. It's very important that when we want to welcome someone, we should know how to welcome him. What are the ways to welcome that person? Because when we want to welcome someone, we don't welcome anyone. Do you welcome any person who comes to your doorstep? You welcome someone who has importance in your life, who is important for you, who has done something for you, who can benefit you. Only that kind of person is welcome. So that person, if that person has importance in your life, if that person has done something for you, if that person has benefited in your life, has influenced you, you welcome him or her. If that is not the case, then you don't welcome that person. So first of all, who do you welcome? That person, a person who is important for you or who's important in general. In general, if that person is important, you welcome. You come to know that that person is coming, then you start making the preparations. You make sure that that person, when he comes to your home or to your office or to your business or to university or college, he feels welcomed. All of the arrangements are made. There are no impediments, there are no issues, there are no troubles in his way. He should not feel unwelcomed when he comes. He should feel happy, he should feel welcome. This is how you do with people in general, welcoming. This is how you welcome people in this world, regardless of what faith you are from, regardless of what sect you're from. These are the codes and guidelines of welcoming anyone in this world. It's very unfortunate when the month of Ramadan comes, we welcome the month of Ramadan by just focusing on the suhoor and iftar, the eatery, what to eat, how to bring the groceries, and these kind of stuff. So we just take one aspect, which is a very important aspect. I'm not saying that this aspect should be neglected. This is one important aspect, but this is not all Ramadan is all about. And you may say now, we know that Ramadan is not all about this, but practically, if you look at yourself, if you look at your surroundings, most of us is going this way, doing this, and welcoming Ramadan in just this way. The preparations we make for Ramadan is just regarding the eateries, just regarding the suhoor and iftar. The most important element of Ramadan, that is worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, trying to get nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, trying to get qurb ilahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is unfortunately neglected. The month of Ramadan is a month that brings unlimited blessings for you. It's a month of bonus of blessings. And our priority should be to try to get most of these bonuses, try to get most of these bonuses. But what we do is we focus few unimportant issues and we give importance to it, and we do not give importance to the main part, which is trying to get nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because clearly in this month, according to the narration, if you keep fast and you do not do anything and you just sleep, even that has a lot of virtues for you. And the month of Ramadan, if you fast in it, it burns your sins, according to some narrations. So this month of Ramadan is the month of blessings, and we should make the most out of it. So, like, for example, if you're given a task and you know that if you complete a task in your job, your boss tells you, if you complete this task, you get a bonus. But that bonus is very limited. That bonus is a raise of your pay, of your salary. That bonus is maybe a trip, and that's it. But in this month of Ramadan, if you try to achieve what you should achieve, just try, give your best. Your intention is there. Your intention is towards the right path. Your direction is towards the right goal and aim and objective. Then you get unlimited bonuses. It's very unfortunate that if very limited bonus from your office is given to you, you do your best in order to get that bonus. But to get the most out of the month of Ramadan, the unlimited bonus, we do very less. We do. Even iftar, doing iftar is important. Doing sahur, sahri is important. Even, like we said, even sleeping has virtue, so that is also fine. There is no problem with it. So on top of that, if you recite Quran, on top of that, if you give charity, on top of that, if you try to help other people, on top of that, if you forgive your relatives in this month of Ramadan, with whom you've not been talking, with whom you had issues, please mute your mic. Mute your mic, please. So this, so this month of Ramadan gives you benefits, but we are not ready to take the benefits. This is the unfortunate fact. So we should welcome the month of Ramadan, and we should welcome it fully. We should decide how to welcome it now. Number one thing is, first of all, we should decide a place where we should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is going to be a place where I'm going to do the worship, where I'm going to do my ibadah. Number two, I'm going to bring change in me in this month of Ramadan. The way you used to be, if you used to pray 3 or 4 times a day, and you used to, for example, miss your Fajr, or if you used to pray 5 times, but you used to be late for your prayers, or you used to be late for few and be on time for few, and you are the same person after the month of Ramadan, in the month of Ramadan, during the month of Ramadan, and after the month of Ramadan. If you are the same, there's no difference in you, then there is no change in you. This month of Ramadan has done no good in you. So in order to bring a change in yourself, in order to bring any goodness in you, you have to focus and you have to gather knowledge. You have to know, where am I lacking? You have to analyze yourself. You have to gather knowledge of what is wrong and what is right. First, you have to know what are the things that are wrong, what are the major sins and what are the minor sins, and what is the benefit of doing the good deeds. When you know these things, when you have ma'rifat of these things, then you can move towards it. If you don't know what is good and what is bad, what are the major sins and what are the minor sins, what are the impacts of these sins, inshallah, one of our topic is going to be the impact of sins. So you have to know these things. If you know these things, then you never get close to them. So do you ever get close to garbage, try to sit in garbage, try to get close to garbage, try to get close to anything unclean. No. Why? Because you feel the abhorrence, you feel the karaha from the garbage. So if you actually know, if you actually have the ma'rifat of how dirty, how unclean is the sin, you'll never get close to it. And that's why our imams don't get close to any sin, because they actually have the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they know how bad is the sin, and that's why they would never commit any sin. So first of all, we have to decide a place where we can worship. Secondly, we should bring some change, and for that we should gather knowledge. And third, we should try to recite Quran in this month of Ramadan. So that's how, if we welcome the month of Ramadan, it will be welcoming, it will be a warm welcome, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with you. The second important question that we will address today is, what is the wisdom of fasting in the month of Ramadan? Because if we know the wisdom of fasting, then we will give importance to the fasting in the month of Ramadan. If we don't know the wisdom behind the fasting, we may think this is just a month of Ramadan in which we have to fast, and this month is going to pass very soon. So the wisdom, inshallah, that we're going to discuss now will be divided into three. First of all is the medical benefits of fasting in the month of Ramadan or during the whole year, especially in the month of Ramadan. Because one of our issues the humans are facing or our bodies are facing is overeating. Overeating is the problem, doctors say, that is the problem for many of our issues and problems and health issues. So cholesterol is because of overeating, blood pressure could be because of overeating, heat burn is because of overeating, diabetes could be because of overeating. So these are the major 4 or 5 issues which could be because of overeating. When a person keeps fast for 30 days, he gives a rest to his digestive system, because his digestive system is running throughout the day, throughout the year. And when there is a rest for 30 days, there is a rest in digestive system. And one does not do overeating because of that, there are the health issues that he may face. He does not face anymore because of the fasting in the month of Ramadan. The second benefit of the fasting is the social benefit. You know, in this society, we have different classes. There is a higher class, there is a middle class, and then there is a lower middle class, and then there is a lower class. The drastic difference between the higher class and the lower class, even the middle class and the lower class, is so high. People often do not realize the problems of the other classes. So the one who is at higher class, he does not realize the problems of the middle class. The one who is at the middle class, he does not realize the problems of the lower class, because you do not experience the issues. So it's one thing to know about something, but when you experience it yourself, this is whole another level of experience. I'll give you an example. If you see a smoke coming out of a chimney and you are standing outside of a house, you see that there is a smoke coming, so that's why you know there is a fire inside the house. And because of that, you know 100% that there is, because of smoke, you know there is fire inside the house. How do you know? Because there's smoke coming out of the chimney. This is one level of experience. But when you enter the house, you see the fire yourself. This is one other level. Because at first level, true that smoke most probably is because of fire, but there could be other reasons because of which fire is coming out. But when you enter the house, When you enter that place and you see the fire yourself, you have your level of experience, your level of certainty, your level of conviction, your level of yaqeen is way more. But the third level or the highest level is when you touch the fire yourself or try to touch it, and you know that this is exactly fire, 100% fire, and this is not an illusion. There are illusions like, magicians do. So this is no illusion, and this is fire. 100%, and you try to touch it. This is called haqqul yaqeen. So now you have haqqul yaqeen, and this is fire, and the smoke is because of this fire. In the month of Ramadan, when a person who is from middle class or higher class, who does not have to face hunger throughout his life, whatever he wishes, whether it's pizza or burger or Italian food or Chinese food or any kind of food, Pakistani, Indian food, any food he wishes, he can eat. And there is no time that he has to face hunger throughout his life because of the kind of class he's from. So he's heard from people. There are people who are hungry, they do not eat for days. There are people in certain areas, in those kind of areas, far from your area. You live in downtown, they live far away. You've heard, and sometimes you may give some sadaqah, very low amount, few dollars you may give. And that is the importance you have for such kind of problem. Because you've just heard from people, or you have seen from far, or if you've read in books what hunger is like, you have read through novels, you have seen in TV, you have seen through social media, and you have some kind of basic superficial knowledge of what is hunger. And that's why you sometimes may not give any importance to it. Or you may give some importance to it and give very little amount, which does not make any difference in your life, whether you have it or you don't have it. Giving an amount which does not matter, you give it away, and giving an amount which matters to you is a whole lot different thing. The virtues for that kind of giving of charity and sadaqah or helping anyone is a whole lot different thing. So you do that when you hear about such things. This is one thing. Second level is when you experience it yourself. When you feel it yourself, what is hunger. How those poor people, how those people from lower class, what they go through. What they have to go through maybe every day or a few times a week or a few times a month or a few times a year, depending on different scenarios. So when you experience it yourself, you actually feel the pain of the poor. You actually feel the pain of the lower class. You feel the pain of the lower class. Then the way you help is not just few dollars. This help is now way more than before. Because now actually you've felt the experience what they go through. Even then, I would say the experience is not same, because your suhoor and your iftar is totally different from their suhoor and their iftar. Because the eatery you have eaten in your suhoor and your iftar, and because of that kind of food you have eaten good with good proteins and all those things, because of which you may not feel that kind of hunger throughout the day. And a person who has not eaten much because he does not have it or he cannot afford it, that his hunger is a whole different level than your hunger, because of the kind of eat you have eaten, the kind of food you have eaten in your Sahri and Iftar. So even if you feel hungry throughout the day, you're not experiencing the same hunger. You're not having the same experience like that of a person who's from a lower class or who is a poor. But then, even then, you get some experience, and that is good enough, and through which you tend to help other people. This is one benefit of fasting. The last benefit of fasting, and the most important benefit of fasting, is the spiritual benefit. Because throughout the year, the people who sin, and then there are people who do not sin. There are mu'mineen and mu'minat. We're talking about mu'mineen and mu'minat Muslims. There are Muslims who sin, who are involved in sinning, who listen to their desires, to their nafs, they're slaves of their nafs. Their nafs orders them, gives them command, and they obey it. They do not listen to their mind. They do not listen to their heart. They listen to their nafs ammara. Their nafs ammara is their master. Whatever their nafs ammara tells them, they obey it. And when they obey their nafs ammara, they are slaves of their nafs ammara. What happens that whatever they desire, they do it. So there are people who are involved in sinning, and they sin throughout the day or most of the times of their year. And there are people who are not involved in sinning, but in halal permitted things, there are things which do not benefit them. Like watching TV is halal. Like watching videos on YouTube is halal, it's permitted. There's no problem with it. But if you do it throughout the day, if you do it throughout the month, and you do most of your time, you spend most of your time doing these kind of acts, it has an impact on your soul. So this month of Ramadan teaches you how to control your desires. And now even the social media, now even the sociologists and the influencers are even talking about it, that you should be alpha male or you should be alpha female, because an alpha male or an alpha female would know how to control his desires, would be able to make important decisions in his life. He would diet, he would follow a diet plan, he would not be fooled by others, he would go to the gym. So the desires which a person has, and when they talk about the alpha male or alpha female, they do not talk through the Islamic point of view, they talk from the world point of view. We take it, the world point of view is important too, but our controlling of desires is just not because of the importance of it in this world, no. Because when we say life, we do not mean this world. We mean this world and hereafter. And hereafter is the actual life. So our decisions should be not focused in this materialistic world. Our focus should be this world leading towards hereafter, which is the actual life. So when we fast, we control our desires. Those desires which are halal, which is permitted. Eating is halal. Drinking is halal. Life partners husband and wife can get close to each other, it's halal, but it's permitted through fasting. So things which are even halal are made unlawful for you in these 30 days during fasting, so that you know how to control your desires. You become someone who is not a slave of the desires, who can make important decisions in life, who knows how to make decisions in life. And this is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there are a lot of people who are in a mess, who are in trouble because they don't know how to make important decisions. They follow their desires, they follow their nafs amara, and because of which they get into trouble again and again and again. And people around them, whether they're from their family members, or they're from their friend circle, or they're from their office, they do not like him. So there's a person who's involved in betting, and he would bet throughout the day or spend any money he has throughout the day. No one trusts him. A person who is an alcoholic, no one trusts him. A person who's a shopaholic, no one trusts him. Why? Because this person, they know, is not going to make wise decisions. He cannot make wise decisions. So eventually that person loses his friends. Eventually that person loses his family members, his kids, and everyone around him. Because of one factor, and that is that he is following his desires. So if one learns how to control and counter his desires, he is welcome in the world. he can make friends, he can have a healthy relationship in this life, and it can have a very positive effect on his worshipings and ibadat, and his taking care of purifying his nafs, which will eventually make him successful in the life which is after this life. So these are the benefits of fasting. And when we know the benefits now, the social benefits, the medical benefits, the spiritual benefits, how can one person, and we know why it's important to welcome the month of Ramadan. Now how can one not welcome Ramadan like they should, and keep fast, give importance to fast in this month of Ramadan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.